Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys making some time out of your day to check the video out and spend some time with me. And guys, I've been wanting to do this video for quite a long time, for about a year now. I want to talk about in my opinion, the discrimination that has occurred against the FLW anglers, which is now the MLF, but it used to be the FLW. The unfair discrimination that has occurred against the marquee anglers on that tour over the past 30 years, because it's a story that needs to get told. And the only people that can really tell the story are the people that were there and fished that tour like I did, for many years. So we're going to get into that in today's video, and definitely looking forward to getting your guys' comments as well. Also, guys, before we get started, a couple quick housekeeping tips. Just want to invite everybody to please check out all the sales that Tackle Warehouse has got going on right now. They got a bunch of good summer, like get ready for summer type deals. I'll put my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video. If you guys want to use and bookmark that Tackle Warehouse link, it's a good way to support the channel. And also, one other thing, guys, anyone interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, you can do that by going to my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler. Just shoot me a private message, so really appreciate that. Okay, this is one of the things that has bothered me forever, because for many years, guys, from about I started fishing the FLW Tour in 1997, and I was also fishing the Bassmaster Top 150 and the Bassmaster Elite 50 circuit during the same time. So I was one of about maybe 8 or 10 anglers out there that competed full-time on the Bassmaster Top 150 circuit and the FLW Tour. I did that for 7 or 8 years, and so I can talk about this better than most people. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now that I don't care that people believe it or not, it's the reality of the situation. When you look at the talent as far as the skill level amongst anglers as a group, the FLW Tour during its heyday from about 1997 to about, say, 2004, in that zone, it had better anglers and stiffer competition and a higher skill level than the Bassmaster Top 150 circuit. I know, I was there. I fished both of them. I fished against both groups of anglers, qualified for Bassmaster Classics and Forest Wood Cups at the same time. We're in both of those. And the talent level on the FLW Tour was simply better than the top 150s. The problem you've had with that is nobody ever knew that, because FLW did a crappy job, and it wasn't within their business model to try to promote the anglers. They wanted to try to promote the sponsors, that were basically, Walmart vendors at the time. That's when they had the big team deals. Like I was on the Fujifilm team, and Clark Winlet was on Kellogg's, and you had all that type of stuff going on. So at the same time, Bassmaster, their business model was to grow heroes within their organization. So they spent a lot of time promoting, the anglers. And as a result, the public got this fake misconception that the real pros fish the Bassmaster Top 150 circuit, and just the weekend wannabe dudes were fishing the FLW Tour. And this irritated me and everybody else to no end that fished both of those circuits, because they never got the notoriety. They didn't get the sponsorships. They didn't get the credit where credit was deserved. And one of the things that has been perpetuated in this is, and I got thinking about this because I was looking down the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame list earlier this week. I live here in Springfield, Missouri, so I've been to the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame there at Bass Pro in Springfield a bunch of times, so I'm very familiar with it. I got looking down through the list as far as the inductees in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. There's nobody from the FLW Tour on the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. It's all Bassmaster dudes. And you've got guys like Andy Morgan, you've got Scott Martin, you've got David Dudley, you've got Clark Winlet, you got a dozen different guys on there that have better credentials and better statistics than most of the guys that have been inducted in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame, that fish Bassmaster. All you have to do, guys, is compare stats. I can show you the stats, like all the Angler of the Years that Andy Morgan has won, Forest Wood Cups that Scott Martin has won, David Dudley, all-time leading money winner in the FLW. Why in the hell is David Dudley not in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame? He's the all-time money winner on the FLW Tour, Forrest Wood Cup champion. And then you've got guys that are in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame that have never won a tournament and qualified for 5 or 6 classics, and they're in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame. So I see a level, I'm not accusing the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame of everything, but I see a level of discrimination, whether it's consciously or intentionally or unintentionally, whether it be in the board of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame that excludes the FLW Tour stars, or whether it's in the industry, the public perception of these anglers, and it's just not right. And guys that focused and spent their careers fishing the FLW Tour, they basically got screwed from a historical perspective in the sport. Now, I've always been somebody that really appreciates performance, especially consistent performance over a long time. One of the things that I don't like in professional fishing is guys who have made a career out of winning one major championship, whether they've won the Bassmaster Classic, or they won the Forrest Wood Cup, or they won one Angler of the Year, whatever, and they've been able to ride that in a big way. And then you've got other anglers out there that have consistently qualified for championships, made tons of top tens, but they simply have not won major championships, and they're not looked upon the same. It's like history does not reflect upon those anglers the same. And that is what we've seen with the FLW Tour anglers. You got guys out there that have had these superstar careers that if they would have had the same level of success on the Bassmaster Top 150 circuit, they'd be household names. But a lot of people don't even know who they are. And there's a lot of guys out there other than like the Andy Morgans and those type of people that have had, you know, they haven't had those, you know, notable huge wins, but nevertheless they are freaking hammers. And they're basically falling into they're falling into a historical oblivion. Nobody's going to know who these anglers are. And then you've got some people enshrined in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame that fish Bassmaster that had just a fraction of the success overall on the Bassmaster Tour as some of the guys on the FLW circuit did. So I don't know, guys. This is one of the things that, you know, ever since I quit fishing, you know, when MLF or FLW, you know, sold out to MLF, everything changed there. But this is a conversation that we had with the pros forever. I'm not the only one that shares this on there, is this discriminatory attitude that the industry as a whole had towards FLW Tour anglers. Another thing all you have to do is look at the sponsorship alignments, you know, between the two circuits. Unless you had some type of a sponsor team deal with FLW like I did, it was next to impossible to get a solid, you know, really sweet deal from a sponsor fishing the FLW Tour unless you were aligned with FLW. It doesn't matter how good you did compared to Bassmaster. I mean, I don't know, it's just one of those things, it's just one of the injustices in the sport, I guess, that it just sort of really gets in my craw there a little bit. But anyway, guys, I just a quick video. I just really like to get your guys' opinion on this. Do you guys see some discrimination amongst the guys that fish the FLW Tour or the Bass Pro Tour, the MLFs today, against, you know, compared to the Bassmaster Elite Series or the Bassmaster Top 150s? I do, obviously, with that. And now the problem that we have in today's world of professional fishing is there are so many people that fish tournaments. There's so many pros, there's so many people that call themselves pros, there's so many tournaments that it's next to impossible to stand out. It's like it wasn't like that 30 years ago. It's like if there was one circuit, there was the Bassmaster Top 100 tournaments, there wasn't anything else. It was a lot easier to make a career, and now the sport has been splintered and segmented so many times through so many different circuits out there that it's really been detrimental to the sport as a whole and to the angler's ability to generate income through tournament fishing. That's just one of those deals. It sort of be like, instead of having the NFL, you had 5 or 6 different competitive leagues with the NFL, and everybody watered everybody down. And there was, instead of one Patrick Mahomes, there was 20 Patrick Mahomes out there. So it'd be equivalent to the same thing. It wouldn't be good for the sport. It wouldn't be good for the sport of football. It's not good for the sport of, professional bass fishing. I've always said before, in a perfect world, we only need one professional bass fishing league. It should have been the Bassmaster tournament trail, but we all know that Bassmaster has just flushed the organization down the toilet through their decisions that they've made. And this has been not just Bassmaster, but it's been some others as well. And that whole thing about competition within the business world, it may stimulate, a positive thing in other sectors of our economy and our country, but it doesn't do that in professional fishing. It has degraded and it has undermined not only the pros, but the legitimacy of the sport, because anymore most people don't know who the best league is. They don't know who or what is a pro angler. It's like, it used to be the Bassmaster Classic and that was it. Now it's not anymore. You got all these different cups and championships and red crests and, specialty tournaments. It's just like, we just need a simpler time. I was talking about that this morning with Owen, and it's like, there's so much to be said about a simpler time in life, when things just weren't as complicated. And for whatever reason, as a society, we have accepted and fell into this myth that we have got to constantly change and you've got to constantly evolve. There are some things you do have to do that, but this is not one of them. Evolving professional bass fishing into something that's not as good as what it used to be is not change for the positive. So anyway, guys, just a few random thoughts on that. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Let me know what y'all think. We'll see you guys.